Here at Lani's Bar Lounge. My first fucking bullshit. Yo, what up? This is Weather Barbero here at Lani's Bar Lounge. Showing you. What the fuck did I said the first? Yo, what up? This is Weather Barbero here at Lani's Bar Lounge. My first tutorial video on my buddy Kevin. Right here, we're gonna do a low fade with scissor work on top. So let's do it. Alright, at the start of this tutorial, I am creating the guideline for the low fade. Yeah. Right here I'm using my Babylisspro trimmer, which is 0 gap. That is why it's cutting like butter. I usually go up like around maybe a finger length up to create that guideline. And I go from the temple area all the way to the back. And usually I like to go all the way around when I create my guideline. As you see here, we started off from the temple area. That way we go back and try to connect it to the other, to the guideline. Make sure you put the ear back down, clean behind the ear. You don't want to leave any hairs remaining. Before you move to the next step, you want to make sure you clean off all the whole scalp with the trimmer. Here I'm using the shaver. Here I like to use the shaver to clean it up all nice and bald because we are doing the skin low fade, man. Alright, now we start off with a clipper all the way open. A clipper all the way open equals a half. The half, I put it around a finger length up to create our next guideline. That way we give ourselves that spacing to fade in that line from the double zero to the half with the 0. Here we close it all the way down, and now we are fading that line that we just talked about. Remember, our clipper closed equals a 0, clipper open equals a half. Keep that in mind because you will need it. Here we went back down with our trimmer before we can clean up that small line that the 0 doesn't clean because our clipper is 0 gapped. We use it just with the corner and we kind of just want to flicker it out. That way you don't make another harsh hard line. Here we started with the 1 guard. Alright, 1 guard all the way closed equals a 1. I like to put it around a finger length up from the temple area all the way to the back, and using that C flicker with your wrist. Make sure you use your wrist when you're doing this and not your whole arm. That way you get a smoother fade and a smoother transition from the half guard with the 1. Here I'm going all the way around. Make sure you go all the way around. You don't want to fade just one side. All the way around, do the same thing. Now, lever all the way open. Remember, lever all the way open was a half. A half with a 1 equals 1.5. Here, I use the 1.5 guard now. The 1.5, and I like to flicker all the way up. Try not to create a guideline. That way, it's easier to fade that 1.5 to 2. Now we go back down halfway on your lever, and you try to fade in that little line that from the 1 to the 1.5. Now we're going down to the half guard. We have a half guard, lever all the way open, and we're trying to erase the line from the half to the 1. First we start with the lever all the way open, and if you see that the line is not erasing, You want to close it halfway. And you always make sure you want to use that C position or that sleeve flicker with your wrist. That way you don't create a guideline and you just erasing that line. If you don't see the line erased, you close it all the way and boom. Make sure you put your teeth of the clipper on the line and then flicker it. If you don't do that, it won't clean it up. If you just put it to the line and not on top of the line, it won't do anything. So you want to clean spots like this where it's a little darker with your corner of the clipper. Make sure you use the corner. That helps a lot with creating a nice transition, which equals a nice fade. Here we're using the 1.5 guard with the lever all the way open. We're trying to kind of clean up that bulk before we go into the next step. Alright, as I told you, make sure you know the steps that lever all the way open is half, lever all the way closed it's a 0. Why? Because here I am using it as a number 2. A 1.5 guard plus the half, which means lever all the way open equals 2. All you gotta do is just do that nice flicker precision like a C all the way around, every way, the whole time you go up. Why? Because you don't want to create a guideline. You just want to keep on fading from down all the way to the top. You want to close it down a little bit and just go down. If you see something, just to clean it up. Now I'm putting the 1 guard on it back. Now I'm putting back the 1 guard because I'm going down to clean up something I didn't get when I first did the first step. You always want to do this on any haircut. If you see something, go ahead, grab a machine, go down, erase a little line, erase a little dark spot. Don't be afraid to do that. Now I'll put the half guard on it. Alright, in this position we are using, or in this section we are using the clipper over comb technique to try to give it a clean, try to connect the hair from the bottom all the way to the top. I usually only use 3 guards, which is the half guard, the 1, and the 1.5 guard, and that's all I use. And I set my clipper over comb, put it down on the scalp, and you want to come bring it out. That way you don't want to go in and take a lot of that bulk out, because here he likes a little bit of bulk on top of his hair. So you see that hair coming out. All you want to do is making sure your fade is straight up and down. If you're not too comfortable using the clipper over comb technique, man, make sure you get a mannequin. Try it out on the mannequin. Sheesh, make sure you clean up your canvas. Alright, we got the clipper here. That way we clean off some of his facial hair. We're moving down to the mustache. We line it up. You know, a nice lined up mustache just makes the person look a little better. Alright, now we're moving to the shear portion of the haircut. Here we are damping down the hair. I used a lot of water just messing around with them. But alright, we like to comb everything to the side, and now I comb it up, and I like to ask the customer, alright, is it cool this much? Alright, and if they say yeah, go ahead and cut it. You make your guideline from the first haircut, you cut it, and you can see it whenever you pick up your other hair going back. You want to pretty much pick up like around like half an inch going back. Now we're moving to the right side, and you see the little points, the long hair sticking out. There you go. You want to add that, fade it into the shorter hair that you had cut at first. Now here, you put your fingers nice on the scalp, and you pick your knuckles out. That way you give that nice transition, and you don't cut a lot of the hair that you had cut before. And then you move to the left side, and on that side you want to just make sure you pick your fingers up, see the first guideline you created, and you want to just cut everything that's just long and sticking out. Alright, here you want to make sure you put your fingers, your 2 fingers on the scalp of the skin, and you pick your knuckles up. That way you do the nice fade. And make sure you go all the way around the scalp. Everything that sticks out, you want to have the short point at the bottom and the short point on top, and there's a little point sticking out. Make sure you cut it. Do a little bit of shear over comb. Don't be afraid to use that if you see anything sticking out. Make sure you clean it up nice and good. Here we are getting rid of those crazy hairs that just stick out, and they have no way of combing. They just stick out. They're rebel hairs. They don't listen. So you want to just cut them down a little bit. Make sure you clean them off. Alright, style the hair a little bit. Blow dry it. Use your blow dryer. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wahl Barbero. Click the comments down below. Click the notification bell. Comment what haircut you want to see next. Here we're styling the hair with nice little pomade that I sell here at my barbershop. Sheesh, look at my boy looking fresh. Alright, we're moving to the razor blade. I like to use the razor blade to sharpen up. He doesn't get an edge up, but he does get the little sides cleaned up. And right here behind the ear, there's always hair that you can't get with the clipper, with the trimmer. So you want to make sure you put the blade back there. Since the blade it is nice and thin, you can get right behind the ear. One of my pet peeves is when barbers leave hairs on behind the ear, behind the neck. Make sure you clean that area out. Now make sure you shave all them crazy hairs behind his neck. The only part you gotta shave is if hairs stick out from the collar of the shirt. You want to just shave that off, clean it up. I like to use the razor because it gives us a nice skin fade. And don't be afraid to spray your clients with alcohol, man. Keep them nice and sanitary. If they any irritations, it cleans it up. Anything that the chemicals didn't cleaned up, and they're gonna be smelling good. And sheesh, look at my boy right here, man. I just made this dude look like $1,000,000.